me? If you can hear me, please leave your message in the chatting box and let me know. Can you hear me? Hello, everyone. Okay. We will start the training in 1 minute. Thank you. We will start the training later. Okay, we will start today's training. Today's topic is a DJI enterprise solution for oil and gas industry. At the beginning, I sent a link in the chat box, so please don't forget to click and finish them. This link is very important. It will be used to check your attendance rate, so please don't forget. Okay, today's topic is a DJI enterprise solution for oil and gas industry. I think most of the customer already very familiar with this industry because it's very common in Middle East, Northern Africa, and Russia. So at the beginning, I will show you some basic challenge and knowledge for the traditional operations in oil and gas industry. The first challenge is the equipment worn out. As you know, the pipelines is very common in oil and gas industry. The distance is very long, maybe many kilometers. And most of the pipelines may across some rough terrain like desert, Gobi, forest, and lake, and so on. So it's very hard, very dangerous to monitor all of the pipelines, and the efficiency is also very low. Besides, some refining equipment is very inconvenient for the maintenance. The second challenge is the environment protection and safety. As you know, the oil and gas in the pipeline, in the tank, maybe always occur. There may be some leakage occurs. So when the leakage occurs, it will generate the environment pollution and a resulting huge fine. So there is a challenge how to monitor the leakage and detect them and avoid the huge fine. This is a very important issue. Besides, the oil and gas is very easy burning and exploded. So it's very important to monitor the high temperature of the oil and gas to ensure the security of equipment and human. The third challenge is the igloo activity monitoring. I already introduced that most of the pipeline and oil gas equipment is in the complex environment. So if you use the traditional monitoring solution, there are too many blind spots. And some criminals some suspects can reach these blind points and do some illegal operations, like they can theft your oil, and they can damage the equipment. So in these scenarios, it's very difficult to capture the evidence, to record the evidence for law enforcement. And the last challenge is oil and gas exploration. Most of the oil and gas are located under the rough terrain, so it's very difficult for the staff to bring multiple instruments to perform the exploration on site. It costs too much human resource and generate big work pressure, and the efficiency is also very low. So facing all of these challenges, that is why we should use the drone solution. Okay, this page I will show you the end-to-end solution structure our DJI can provide for our customer. The first part is a drone, like a Mavic 2 Enterprise, Phantom 4 RTK, Matrix 2 series and Matrix 600 series. For Matrix 2 Enterprise and Phantom 4 RTK, they are small size drone and the weight is less than 1.5 kilogram. So it's very easy to carry. For Matrix 200 series, it can be equipped with various panels, can be used into colorful application scenarios. For Matrix 600 series, it is a redundancy design, so it is very reliable, can be used in some special scenarios, and it can support to carry heavy load to meet your special requirement. This is the payload part. X5S, X7, this is the visible camera. XT, XD2 are thermal camera. And this Z13 is a kind of zoom camera. It supports 30 times optical zoom and 6 times digital zoom. Besides, we can also provide the spotlight and speaker for Mavic 2 Enterprise. And this drone box is designed for the Matrix 600 series. The pilot can use the remote controller to operate the drone, operate the payload to finish their task. At the same time, the remote controller can connect with the flight hub to synchronize the on-site video to the command center in real time. It can also support HDMI and SDI interface to send the video to third-party equipment. It can also connect it with the DJI Terror to realize the real-time 2D mapping and 3D modeling. Okay, this is the DJI drone solution architecture. So later I will show you the oil and gas application scenarios. Here are 4 main kinds of application scenarios. The first application scenario is exploration and engineering, pipeline inspection, site equipment, and security emergency. For exploration, the drone solution can be used to survey the field topographic based on the 2D mapping or 3D modeling. For engineering construction, drone solution can be used to collect the construction information, to plan the schedule, and realize the construction supervision. For crude oil pipeline inspection, we can inspect the oil pipeline. We can monitor the illegal behaviors like oil stealing. For gas pipeline, we can use the drone solution to detect the methane leakage. We can also use the drone solution to inspect the offshore drilling platform, land station platform, auxiliary power facilities. And we can also inspect like the torch tower, cooling tower, and raw material pipeline inspection. Besides, the daily patrol is also very important, so our drone solution can also be adopted to improve the efficiency. And if there are some emergency accident occurs, like fire, like explosion, we can also use the drone solution to improve the efficiency for the firefighting. Okay, later I will show you all of these application scenarios one by one in the next slides. The first application is exploration and engineering. Okay, before we start this part, I double send the attendance link. Please don't forget to finish them. And during this training, if you have any question, please feel free to leave your message in the chatting box. And after the training, I will solve it for you. Okay, exploration and engineering. At the beginning, I want to compare the traditional operation solution and the drone solution. For the traditional solution, it is mainly based on the human resource. The staff should carry the handheld GPS, handheld RTK, and the total station, and go to the exploration area and check the detail check and perform the survey on site. But most of the terrain is very tough, so it's very dangerous and very difficult to finish this task. And the efficiency is very low, cost too much labor resource. That is why we should use the drone solution. Here are some highlights. Here are some highlights. High precision, high efficiency, economic. For example, this is the Phantom 4 RDK. It supports an RDK modular. This is built-in. It can improve the precision for the mapping and modeling, and it supports centimeter level accuracy. Besides, the RDK module supports three kinds of RDK mode: DRDK2 base station, network RDK, and third-party in-trip RDK. So it can be widely used in various environments. High efficiency. The drone can be take off in 1 minute, and you can efficiently quick view the target area and improve the efficiency. Economic. It can effectively save the human resource, so it's very economic. Besides, I want to say that in some scenarios, the user may also use the Matrix 600 because it can carry a heavy load. And here he equipped a LiDAR on the drone, so it can generate high precision point cloud. This is also very useful for the exploration. Okay, for this page, I want to show you the workflow for the Phantom 4 RDK and the DJI Terror in the exploration application scenarios. First, we should power on the Phantom 4 RDK and collect the controller with the DJI Terror. Then we can plan a mission on the screen. We just need to choose the area. Then the flight route will automatically generated. We can set the parameters, the photographic parameters for each waypoint. Then we take off the aircraft. The aircraft will automatically take images. Here I want to say that the camera for Phantom RDK is designed with a high performance. It supports 20 megapixels, so it's a high resolution. Besides, it supports the mechanical shutter, so the image quality is very good. After we get the image, okay, we can import the image to DJI Terror to generate 3D modeling. Here is a sample for the 3D modeling. And here I make a short summary for the solution highlights. It supports the accuracy and can meet the 1/500 scale area maps requirement. For this accuracy, I suggest you can operate the drone with the altitude about 120 meters. Fast deployment, it can be take off in 1 minute. Centimeter level positioning system because of the RDK modular and a stable, reliable image and video transmission. For the video transmission distance is about 7 kilometers. So this is a very excellent and can meet your requirement. Besides, except for the post-processing of 2D mapping and 3D modeling, it also supports the real-time 2D mapping. Here is an example. Yeah, the drone are taking images and generate 2D mapping in real time. Here is the sample of a 2D mapping. We can enlarge the mapping. We can find it's very clear. We can clearly check the car, the buildings, the trees, the roads. So it's much better than the Google Maps. Besides, it also supports to generate the 3D modeling. Here is the sample. On this modeling, you can also do some measurement. You can measure the distance, measure the volume. So this modeling can widely used in the exploration. application scenarios. Okay, after we introduce the application scenarios, here I want to share with you some reference cases. The first one is engineering construction monitoring. The first case is the construction quality and safety inspection. During the construction progress, it's very important to inspect the boards, coater pins, and the node steel wire ropes on the tower crane. But if you use the traditional solution, you should climb on the tower crane. So it's very dangerous and efficiency is very low because you should climb on the tower and check the boards, check the pins and the ropes one by one. And the inspection quality is also not very good. That is why we use the drone solution. We can equip the drone with high resolution camera and monitor, inspect the target board, target pin, target ropes, and get high resolution image. This solution is very efficient and very safe. Besides, during the flight, if you find there are some workers, some staff are not wearing safety hats and safety ropes, you can also inform them that to wearing the safety hats and ropes to ensure their security. Construction progress, image, and data retention. During the construction progress, we can daily or weekly or monthly monitor the construction area and take some images. And this image can be used to evaluate the progress and also be also very useful to solve the various management problems and disputes. At the same time, during the monitoring, we can also collect the remote controller and the command center by the flight hub. So you can synchronize the video to your headquarters, and your leader can also view the real-time construction situations. This is very useful for some decision making and progress planning. Besides, the 3D modeling is also very useful in this case. We can monthly take the 3D modeling and compare it with the construction plan and generate a progress report. It can also be leveraged as a promotional material once the project is completed. Okay, this is the case. Here, I want to show you some sample images. From the sky view, we can use the drone solution to monitor the pipeline, the construction area, and the construction. This is also a construction area. We can also the worker conditions and ensure their working conditions security. And we can also, from this image, to evaluate the construction progress. This is a 3D modeling of construction. It is generated by Phantom 4 RDK and DJI Terror. Okay, let me show you this video. We can see that from this 3D modeling, we can clearly check the equipment architecture. We can clearly check the modular details. And I want to say that this 3D modeling can also be exported from the DJI Terror with a general format, and it can also be imported for third-party GIS system. So it is very common, very widely used in the construction application scenarios. Here is a workflow for the construction monitoring. If you use the Phantom 4 RDK, first you should choose the target area you want to monitor, and you can define the flight route and set the parameters. Then you can take off the aircraft. The drone will perform the mission and take the image automatically. Based on the image collected by the drone, you can check and analyze detailed information. For example, from this page, we can find there is illegal behaviors, oil stealing. We can use this image as the evidence for further documentation and law enforcement. Okay, here are some demo for your reference. For example, we can check the excavation, illegal occupy, surface damage, stealing, and water soil loss. All of these images can be collected by the drone and saved as the evidence for documentation and law enforcement. Okay, let's go to the second part, pipeline inspection. This is a very important application scenarios because pipeline is very common, very widely used in the oil and gas industry. At the beginning, I want to show you the pipeline architecture in oil industry, and later I will show you the workflow of the inspection. Here is a well of the oil, and you can pump in the oil from the underground and send it to the OGM. OGM is the abbreviation of oil gathering manifold. You can send the oil to FPF, field protection facility. So all the oil will gather it in FPF node, and then it will be transported to CPF, center processing facilities, then go to PS, pumping station, then go to the port. We can see that all of these nodes, OGM, FPM, CPF, PS, and port, are collected by the pipeline. So this is a very important part in the industry. That is why we should inspect them. How to inspect them? Here is the workflow. First, you should prepare a checklist. In this checklist, you can list the target area you want to inspect. You can list the main equipment, the inspection task lead. Then you can define a mission, plan a mission. For example, you can design a flight route. You can set the photography parameters for each waypoint. When you start the inspection, you just need to invoke the mission plan, invoke the mission and perform the mission. So it's very easy. The efficiency is very high. During the mission, the aircraft will automatically collect images. So the image will be saved in the aircraft and can be exported for your checking, for your reference. And it can be used for the documentation, for analysis, for checking, for other applications. In the previous slide, I already introduced that most of the pipeline will is across the tough terrain like cotton field, populous Africa forest, marshland, and Gobi. So for this terrains, for this environment, is very complex, very difficult to access, and the inspection is also very hard to perform. For example, the Gobi and the desert is very dangerous and difficult to access. Populous Africa forest, because this plant always can block the pipeline in summer and autumn, but it's protected by the state, so we cannot access to the forest without any authorities. Cotton land, you can block the pipeline, and the inspection is very difficult. If there are some leakage, it will cause a big loss. Lake, some of the pipeline will go through the lake. If there are some leakage, so the oil will spread very quickly, and it's very hard to recovery. highway. Some of the pipeline will go across the high railway. So this part is very hard to inspect. Facing all of these problems and challenges, that is why the drone solution is very useful. Here is the pipeline inspection workflow and output. First, we should plan the flight mission and taking off the flight and monitor the target area. During the flight, we can observe the suspicious point and record some important images. Besides, on this image, we can mark the pipelines and mark the target area and also some detailed information. For example, this is an illegal occupied site. We can mark the site distance between the pipe pile. So this image is very friendly used, and we can quickly check where the illegal occupy locate where the illegal occupy locates. So this output can be easily used for the tagging and backtracking. In the pipeline inspection scenarios, the thermal image is also widely used in the light. Here is a video taken by the M210 RTK-V2 and the DJI XT2 thermal camera. Because the crude oil is always its temperature always about 50 Celsius, but the ground in the light may be just 20 Celsius or 10 Celsius. So there is a big difference between them. That is why we can use the thermal camera to contrast, to highlight the pipeline on the ground. I can show you this video. This video is taken in China. We can clearly see the pipeline here. If there are some oil leakage, we can immediately detect it. So this is an efficient way to inspect the pipeline in the light. It can realize the continuous monitoring in the light time. This is another case for gas pipeline. We can use a Matrix 210 drone, and it can be equipped with two kinds of camera. The first camera is Z13, and the second camera is a machine detection instrument. As you know, most of the gas consists of the machine. So we can use the remote laser machine detector to detect the gas leakage. And this payload is designed with high performance. It can support the response time about 100 microseconds, and the detection distance maybe 100 meter. It's okay. And this 13 camera is also very useful in this case. We can use the optical zoom feature to enlarge, to check the detailed information of the pipeline. Okay, let's go to the third application scenario, site and equipment inspection. Before we go to this part, I triple send the link in this chatting box, so please don't forget to finish them. I find there are some people, some customers already ask some questions. Later, after the training, I will show it. Okay, let's go on. Site and equipment inspection. Here is an offshore platform on the sea, and at the bottom is there are always some defects and corrosions from the seawater. So the periodical inspection is very necessary. That is why we need to use the drone solution, because the traditional solution is mainly based on human resource. So the efficiency is very low, and there are too many risks. Here is the comparison between the traditional solution and the joint solution. If we use the joint solution, two-person team, just 3 days, is equal to six-person team and 14 weeks. So there is a big gap, big difference between these two kinds of solution efficiency. Here is a demo for the site inspection. This is a 2D mapping we generated from the Phantom 4 RDK and DJI Terra. We can enlarge the market area. We can check the target target equipment, target site very clear. So it is widely used in the tank inspection, material pipeline inspection, building roof and inspection, and so on. This is another case. We can use the drone solution that is equipped with a thermal camera, and we can choose an area on the app. So it can automatically calculate the maximum, the mean, the average temperature of this area. This is a very useful feature to detect the heat point to avoid the risk, avoid the fire and explosion. Besides, we can also equip this 13 zone camera on this Matrix 200 drone. It supports the tap zone feature. You just need to double click this screen. Okay, it will enlarge the image and check the modular details. This is a drone solution used for detect the oil leakage in the tank. If you use the visible camera, you can find it's very hard to detect the oil leakage. But if you use the thermal camera, the leakage, the suspected leakage is clearly identified, and we can use to avoid the oil leakage. Here is another demo for the tower inspection and cooling tower inspection. The drone solution is a Matrix 210 and Z13, and it's also equipped with a thermal camera. The Z13 supports 30 times optical zoom and 6 times digital zoom, so it can get high resolution image and check the target check the detailed target information based on the zoom feature. We can check the defect, the damage of the torch tower and the cooling tower. Besides, the thermal camera can be also used to monitor the temperature. Okay, let's go to the last application scenarios. Security applications. The daily security patrol is very important in the oil and gas industry. For example, this is a company area. We should patrol this area every day. But for the traditional solution, it is based on the human working and checking on site, so the efficiency is very low. But if you use a drone solution, you can define and plan a route for this company area, and this mission can be saved in the application, can be reused in the next time, so you can improve your efficiency. Here is the demo. You can see that we can get a global and a comprehensive view of the company area. So the drone solution can greatly improve the efficiency and the quality of the security patrol. Here are 3 demos. the thermal monitoring during the night time. We can clearly find the people in the lateral background. But for the traditional solution, we cannot patrol in the night time. We can patrol the lower and car parking, border patrol. These two images is collected by the zoom camera. Based on the zoom feature, we can clearly check the target information. Yeah, we can zoom the area, and clearly check the target. Oh, sorry. In the security application scenarios, sometimes the reconnaissance is also very important. And in these application scenarios, we can use the Phantom of RDK and DJI Terror to perform the 2D mapping and 3D modeling. You just need to choose the area, and the application and the DJI Terror will automatically design the flight route for the drone. And take off the drone will fly along this route and automatically take images. At the same time, it can generate the real-time 2D mapping or real-time 3-point cloud. Besides, it also supports post-processing. For example, post 2D mapping and post 3D modeling. The accuracy is very high, about centimeters. Here is an example for the 3D modeling of oil field and the equipment. We can clearly check the equipment architecture and the site situation from this 3D modeling. Besides, on this 3D modeling, and if you use our DJI Terror software, we can also monitor the distance between the two tanks and also monitor the target volume. If in the oil and gas industry, sometimes there are some emergency accident occurs. So it is very important to provide the emergency response. For example, the fire, for example, the explosion. In these scenarios, we suggest you use the drone solution, including M200 series, X5S camera, and XT2 camera. For the XT2 camera, it can generate the thermal image. It can quickly view the fire area and provide key information for the decision making, for the firefighting planning. Besides, the thermal camera can locate the fire center, can monitor the temperature without the limitation of heavy smoke and the light time. So it can monitor the fire area and realize the continuous monitoring. Besides, the drone can also collect it with the flight hub and synchronize the video to the command center. So the leader, the expert in the command center, can check the video in real time. And this is very useful to coordinate the resource for the firefighting, search, and rescue, and also an efficient way to perform the firefighting and make some plans, make some decisions. Okay, let's go to the last case, hazmat detection. This is a case in America. We can, from this picture, we can see that there is a meter equipped on the aircraft, and we can monitor the meter parameters based on the FPV camera. So we can take off this aircraft and send it to the hazmat area. Then the meter can monitor the hazmat. At the same time, meter is shown on the screen, and our FPV camera can monitor these parameters to realize the detection in remote area, in remote distance. At the same time, the Z13 camera and XT2 camera can also monitor the target area with high resolution and infrared images. So this solution is very useful and very safe. It can avoid the staff to wear the protection suit and arrive the hazmat area. It can also collect the first-hand data and ensure the human security and ensure the efficiency. Okay, that's all of today's training. I send the link into the chatting box, so please don't forget to finish them. Okay, I find there are some questions in the chatting box. There are some questions in the chatting box. I will solve it. 1 minute. Is that true the X7 and XG2 cannot be used together on M210 dual gimbal system? That can be compatible together for the system. This is a question from Jax. Thanks for Rich Dong. He already solved the question for us. For example, how deep the crude oil pipeline underground, it may be different. For the dam video, it is about 1 meter. And I want to say that for the infrared pipeline inspection, maybe not suitable for the Middle East area because the ground temperature may be very high in the Middle East area. That is why I just showed the video that is from China. Yeah. Oh, is that true? The X7 and X2 cannot be used together on the M210 dual gimbal system. Correct. Yeah. Rich Dong gives the right answer. Oil leakage to outside the tank. In the demo, I just show the drone solution to detect the suspected leakage. Please show some sample data collected by U10. You can visit our DJI official website. There is a data sheet for U10, and there is a picture in the document that shows the data collected by U10. You can visit our official website. Okay, that's all of the question. If you have any question, please feel free to leave your message in the chatting box. Okay. Any other questions? Okay, if there is no question, I will finish today's training. Can methane gas camera located on both sides of matrix 2 and 10? You mean for the downward gimbal? Yes. I check it for you. For the question from Hellcell, can methane gas camera located on both sides of matrix 210? I check it later and reply you later. Is there a DJI supported SDI transmission system for content sharing solution? Yes, there is a SDI port on the controller. We can get to this presentation. We will share with you later, and you can contact with our sales representatives. Yeah, both sides can support for the U10 payload. So, any other questions? If you have any questions, please feel free to leave your message in the chatting box. Okay, there is no question. Thanks for listening and thanks for your time. Thank you. And we will have another training in next Wednesday. Thank you.